Good afternoon, everybody. We are live on the Auburn Doubledays Sports Network, where we have a matchup between the Auburn Doubledays and the visiting Jamestown Tarp Skunks. A great game today for the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League. I'm Ryan Story on the mic today, and it's going to be an exciting one. We'll go over the rosters for the teams for this beautiful 82-degree sunny day. So starting off with the Jamestown Tarp Skunks, leading off for Jamestown is number 5, Nigel Sebastianelli, the shortstop. Batting second, number 48, Leo Doyle, the center fielder. Batting third, the catcher, number 6, Henry Juan. Batting fourth, the left fielder, number 10, Kobe Jones. Batting fifth, Shaniel Maldonado, the extra hitter, number 16. Batting sixth, number 44, DJ Stoyanovich, the first baseman. Batting seventh, number 9, Aiden Wallace, who's the designated hitter in today's game. Batting eighth is number 18, Steven Scarfone, the right fielder. Batting ninth, number 4, Connor Kiefer, the third baseman. And rounding things off for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks is number 42, Brandon McLean Banks, the second baseman. Pitching for Jamestown today is going to be number 34, Eli Shed. Now for your home Auburn Doubledays, leading off will be number 8, Gavin Grapuso, your shortstop. Second will be Ethan Fulton, the extra hitter, number 5. Third in the lineup is number 13, Tyler Lejeune, the right fielder. Fourth in the lineup is number 19, Ryan Grundy, your left fielder. Batting fifth, number 32, Zach Bale, your first baseman. Batting sixth, Gabe Sanders, number 10, and your center fielder. Batting seventh, Fernando Espinal, number 7, and your designated hitter. Trevor Murray batting eighth, third baseman, number 3. Batting ninth is Dalton Groves, number 30, the catcher, and batting last in the lineup is number 1, Alex Sandell, the second baseman. Pitching for the Doubledays today is number 31, Andrew Rucci. Jamestown coming off of a not so great game in their last one. They had a tough 0-10 loss to the Geneva squad, and just overall not a great game from Jamestown. I'd say the star performance in that game was Austin Matranga with his 2-hit performance. Everyone else really just kind of took a backseat in that one. Just a overall not great game for Jamestown. They're going to be looking to bounce back from that game in this one on the season. Jamestown 14-16, just shy of 500. And now looking at your Auburn Doubledays, they're doing a bit better this season, 17-12-1, their total record on the year, and they're coming off of a win yesterday, a 3-1 victory over Niagara Falls. A few good performances there, a few multi-hit performances. You also look at Fernando Espinal with a hit and 2 RBIs, and Gage Rowe, your pitcher, who had 7 innings pitched, only 1 run given up in those 7 innings. So a few good performances from your Doubleday squad that is looking to even up the season series here with Jamestown. Right now, Jamestown winning that season series 2-1. The last game played between these two teams was on June 21st, where Jamestown came away victorious in a 4-3 victory over the Doubledays. And Auburn also looking to catch up to Batavia for the top of the division. They're still 6.5 games out of first place, but there's still some time left in the regular season, and if Batavia goes on a slide and Auburn goes on a run, you never know what could happen. We're about 10 minutes away from first pitch, 10 to 15 minutes away, so stay tuned here on the Auburn Doubleday Sports Network. We're back here at Falcon Park for today's matchup between the Jamestown Tarp Skunks and the Auburn Doubledays. And to kick things off for today's matchup, we'll see Andrew Rucci going against the leadoff hitter for Jamestown, number 5, Nigel Sebastianelli. Sebastianelli, a lefty batter, going against Rucci, a lefty pitcher. On the season, Sebastianelli has been pretty solid, batting .250 with 20 hits, as well as being a pretty prolific base runner, 5 stolen bases on the season. As the first pitch of the game comes in, and that's a strike. So Rucci starts off the game strong with a nice pitch right down the middle there. As the second pitch comes in, and that's high and inside, forces Sebastianelli out of the batter's box. Now, Sebastianelli is a sophomore from Niagara County Community College. As that pitch is going to be another taken strike. So 1-2 count, no swings yet for Sebastianelli, the shortstop for Jamestown. As he does take a chop at that one, it's going to be fouled off to the left side. Pitch comes in, and that's going to be in the dirt for ball 2. So now a 2-2 count for Rucci against Sebastianelli. And another one right in the dirt, a bit outside again. So now full count. That pitch was about 83 miles per hour. She generally tops out at about high 80s, on average throwing mid 80s on his fastball. As Sebastianelli steps out of the batter's box, calls time. He's now back in there. Ready to see the pitch in the full count, and that's going to be far outside, not even close to the zone. And we're going to kick things off with a walk by Andrew Rucci. So now Leo Doyle stepping up to the plate, the center fielder. Doyle on the season batting .241, along with 21 hits. He's a sophomore out of Wagner College. So the pitch comes in, and that's going to be low and inside. Fastball reached 86 miles per hour on that one. That one's going to be a strike down the middle. Nice breaking ball thrown there by Rucci. We see Sebastianelli dancing around a little bit on first base. He's maybe looking to steal on this one. Would be surprising if Rucci threw it over to Bale to try to catch him, and he does do that. So she throws over to the first baseman, Bale, and he's going to recollect his thoughts here. And Sebastianelli does go, not going to be thrown by the catcher Dalton Groves, and that is Sebastianelli's 6th steal of the season. Entered the game with 5, already got up to 6 with just second batter at the plate. 1-2 count here for Rucci. And that one is going to be swung at and whiffed. So that's the first strikeout of the game for Leo Doyle, a swinging strikeout. And that's also the first strikeout of the game for Andrew Rucci. Coming up next, the third batter in the order, Henry Juan. By far and away Jamestown's best hitter, just in terms of statistically, looking at how he's just been. 367 batting average, 18 hits on the season. Senior from Williams College, and that one's going to be popped up in the infield as Sandell calls him off and gets underneath it. So that's the second out of the inning, and that brings up Kobe Jones, the left fielder, with 2 outs on the board. Now, if there was going to be one person to challenge Henry Juan as the best hitter on this Jamestown team, that would be Kobe Jones, batting .350 on the season, 28 hits. So slightly lower average, but slightly higher counting stats than Henry Juan, as that pitch is a big swing, a big miss there from Jones. 0-1 count, 2 outs on the board, and we still have a man on first base. That is Sebastianelli. Sebastianelli's bouncing around there, leading off a bit, and now 1-1 count. The pitch was 83 miles per hour, just a bit low. As the pitch comes in, that will be chopped at, and that's going to be smacked into the left bleachers. 1-2 count. See Jones falling behind in the count early. Jones, a senior out of Shorter University, originally from Marietta, Georgia. As the pitch comes in, that's going to be a reach there, but he is able to make contact with it. So now still a 1-2 count. Jones stays alive with that chop. As the pitch from Rucci comes in, and a third consecutive foul ball there for the senior Jones. Jones just struggling to stay alive in this at-bat. As Rucci just wants to put him down with this one. Keeping an eye on Sebastianelli, and that one's going to be a bit outside. Groves ready to make that throw down to third base. Wouldn't be surprising to see Sebastianelli try to make a play for third base here. Pitch comes in, and that's yet another foul ball, the fourth foul ball of the at-bat. This upcoming pitch will be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. She didn't have much trouble getting through the first two of the first 3 batters at least. Walked Sebastianelli before getting Leo Doyle on a strikeout. Henry Juan only took 1 pitch to get him to pop out. As that pitch comes in and a bit low. So now we'll have a full count. 8 pitches already thrown in the at-bat. Coming up on the 9th pitch right here. As we see Sebastianelli go, that one's going to be a liner into the left side out of play. Sebastianelli is going to have to walk on back to second base. Pitch comes in, and that will be ball 4. So we now have men on first and second as Shaniel Maldonado steps up to the plate, the extra hitter for Jamestown. Maldonado on the season batting .226 for the Tarp Skunks. Not the most consistent hitter, but when he does put it in play, generally gets singles, doesn't have a ton of power behind his swing. Maldonado originally listed as a pitcher, but he can also be a valuable asset in the field sometimes, as that's going to be strike 1 there. So 1-1 count. A nice 86 mile per hour fastball right down the gutter for Rucci on that one. As Rucci gets him to chop at it, that looks like it's going to be a play, as Grapuso a little bit short of 1 hop there, but he is able to make the play, and the 6-3 putout will end the inning for Jamestown. So now we'll head into the bottom of the first, as Auburn still has a 0-0 tie going into the bottom of the first inning. We're back here in the bottom of the first inning for the Auburn Doubledays, and Gavin Grapuso going to kick things off here for Auburn, the leadoff hitter. Grapuso on the season batting .286. He's really everything you could look for in a leadoff hitter, just with his ability to consistently get on base, 26 hits on the season, and also his ability to take walks, 21 walks drawn on the season. When he does get on base, he's a lethal threat, probably the most lethal in the PGCBL. 30 stolen bases on the campaign. And that first pitch is going to be fouled off to the right side by Grapuso. Pitching for Jamestown is Eli Shed. Shed hasn't had the best start to the season, 8.8 ERA, 15 earned runs compared to just 16 strikeouts in 15.1 innings pitched. As that pitch could be inside, Grapuso thought about swinging there, but checked himself. 1-1 count. So got the last out of the first inning with the throw from short over to first base. So calls time. Steps out to readjust his gloves. Steps back into the batter's box to take on Shed. And that pitch will be swung at. Popped up. Looks like the catcher's going to get underneath that. That is Henry Juan able to come down with the first out of the inning on the pop out from Gavin Grapuso. So that brings up Ethan Fulton, the extra hitter, batting second in the Doubledays order. Fulton, not the most reliable hitter, but generally a good fielder and a good pitcher. We've seen he was even in the last game played by Auburn. He pitched to close out their game against Niagara Falls yesterday. Had 2 innings pitched and 0 runs given up in those 2 innings. As the first pitch could be taken for strike 1. Breaking ball thrown there by Shed. Pitch comes in, and that is going to bounce away from the catcher, Henry Juan. A 1-1 count after that pitch was thrown in the dirt by Shed. Third pitch of the at-bat is right down the middle. That's a strike there. So strike 2 on the at-bat. And that is going to be Fulton falling behind 1-2. On deck is the relatively new player for the Doubledays, Tyler Lejeune. As that pitch way outside there bounces away from Juan. 2-2 count. Both balls on the at-bat have been wildly away out of the grasp of Henry Juan. Fifth pitch is not swung at. Looks like Fulton's just going to look at that one as it goes right down the middle. Nice breaking ball there, 69 miles per hour from Eli Shed, and that's going to be his first strikeout of the night. So Fulton gets a looking strikeout there, and Tyler Lejeune steps up to the plate. Lejeune, a sophomore from Northwest Florida State on the season, batting .250 for the Doubledays. As that pitch just misses the strike zone, 1-0 count. Shed doesn't exactly have a blazing fastball. Isn't going to get much above low 80s. Can clip mid 80s at times with his fastball, but generally won't get that fast. As that is going to be strike. So 1-1 count. Number 19, Ryan Grundy on deck for the Doubledays. As Lejeune swings at that one, it's going to be hit directly to the first baseman. The pitcher grabs it. Great play by Eli Shed to just grab it away from the first baseman, DJ Stoyanovich, and just make the play himself. So Shed puts out all 3 batters there, and we'll be heading into the second inning, still at a tie game. Stay tuned for more Auburn Doubledays baseball. Stepping up to the plate now in the top of the second inning for Jamestown is number 44, DJ Stoyanovich, the first baseman. Still going against Andrew Rucci, who 2 walks in the first inning, but overall just looked strong, had a very nice outing in both of his walks, managed to get it to 2 strikes, full counts, and then just missed on that fourth ball. But overall, just a very strong first inning there from Andrew Rucci, who gets a strike on a breaking ball in that first pitch. Stoyanovich needs to check on his shoes and be ready for the second pitch of the at-bat. As that pitch comes in and just misses the bottom of the strike zone, so 1-1 count. Comes in and swung at, missed over to the right side, so made some contact, but not going to be in play. 1-2 count on that foul ball. Rucci hit 85 miles per hour on that fastball. Stoyanovich on the season batting .235 as that pitch misses the strike zone. 2-2 count. Stoyanovich batting .235 with 20 hits, 19 RBIs on the season. See him put it at the 6th slot here. That's because he's when he's up at bat and there are people on base, he's generally an even better hitter, as that one is going to be ripped into left field and looks like he's going to be stopped at first base. So only gets a single there on a hit that easily could have been a double. Nice play by the left fielder Ryan Grundy to keep him at first base, but it's the first hit of the game given up by Andrew Rucci. And coming up next is Aiden Wallace. Wallace on the season has been a solid hitter, nothing special for this Jamestown squad, batting .275 though. Unfortunately for Wallace, hasn't been able to get a ton of extra base hits, mostly singles for the senior out of the University of Tampa. As that pitch is a little bit high, misses the zone 2-0 count. That pitch comes in and that's going to be popped up foul. Now 2-1 count. Wallace, the designated hitter for the Tarp Skunks. Thought about swinging that one, and it looks like they're going to say that he did not swing at it, didn't twist the bat enough, so 3-1 count. And that one's way outside for ball 4. So now 2 men on, 0 outs for Andrew Rucci. And stepping up to the plate next will be Steven Scarfone, the right fielder. So Rucci already with 3 walks through not even 2 full innings. Also a hit giving up to Stoyanovich. Three batters left in the Jamestown order, as that one a bit high, not swung at there by Scarfone. Steven Scarfone is a sophomore out of Clarion University, batting just .159 on the season, but a pretty good hitter in terms of not swinging at bad pitches, has 13 walks, pretty disciplined from the 6'4" hitter. She's going to make sure that Stoyanovich stays on the base. One to one count as the pitch comes in, and that is going to be strike 2. So 1-2 count. So we see a bit ahead in the count. A strikeout here would be big, and that one's fouled off. Count remains 1-2. Fastball there was 86 miles per hour. Scarfone barely got a piece of it, but will stay alive in the at-bat. Comes in, and that's going to be a swing and a miss from Steven Scarfone. That's the second strikeout of the night for Andrew Rucci, and his second swinging strikeout of the night. Coming up next for the Tarp Skunks is Connor Kiefer, third baseman. Senior out of Alfred State College, batting just 156 for Jamestown. Has not been a reliable hitter, but he does have a fairly small sample size here for Jamestown. As the pitch in, that's going to be whiffed on the swing from Kiefer. Still have Stojanovic on first, or Stojanovic on second, Wallace on first. As Rucci pitches it inside there. Barely misses the arm of Kiefer. That pitch comes in, and another inside pitch from Andrew Rucci on the season with a 7.4 ERA and 20.2 innings pitched. 28 Ks on the season, though, an impressive strikeout total from the sophomore out of Wagner College. As the swing there from Kiefer's going to be popped out, looks to be barely in play, and just falls into the Doubledays dugout. She bounces over dugout. That one goes into the stands. Still a 2-2 count in this at-bat for Connor Kiefer. See, shake off the ball from the catcher there, and the pitch comes in. Fastball down the middle. That's strike three. A looking strikeout for Connor Kiefer. The third strikeout of the night for Andrew Rucci. And we'll now see the final batter in the Jamestown Tarp Skunks lineup. Up to plate, Brandon McLean Banks, the second baseman. Sophomore from Youngstown State University. He hit that back over to the center fielder. Looks like that is caught by Gabe Sanders. He managed to get underneath it for the third out of the inning. So we'll head into the bottom of the second as the Doubledays managed to strand two runners on base there. Keep the game tied 0-0, so stay tuned for more Auburn Doubledays baseball. Leading off the inning for the Auburn Doubledays will be the left fielder, Ryan Grundy steps up to the plate here, going still against Eli Shed, who got out of the first inning with zero difficulty, forcing a pop out, a strikeout, and then a ground out. So 3 batters up, 3 batters down for the Doubledays so far. Still looking for their first on base hitter for the day, as Grundy takes a swing and a miss there. Ball's behind 0-1 in the count. And that one way outside, 1-1. And that's going to be bit inside on Grundy, so 2-1 count. Grundy, a very solid hitter. His average isn't the highest. It's only 241 on the season, but he is good at drawing walks, as he has 15 of those, and he hits that to the second baseman, Brandon McLean Banks, who makes the play by tossing it to DJ Stoyanovich at first base. That's the first out of the inning. Now Zach Bale stepping up to the plate. Bale, at one point, was one of the best hitters on the Doubledays roster. It's been a bit of a slump lately. His average has dipped down to 244, but he's still one of those reliable hitters who you can always count on. You always want him up at the plate in those big moments. As he takes a big chop at that first pitch, doesn't make any contact. As the second pitch of that bat comes in, and that's going to be a bit too far low, so 1-1 count with 1 out on the board. And that one inside on Zach Bell. Bell with one of the bigger strike zones out of any hitter on the Doubledays. It's standing at 6'6", 225. As a ball with a lot of curve there, thrown by Eli Shed, finds the corner of the strike zone, 2-2 count. On deck for the Doubledays is Gabe Sanders, as that one hit foul, so count remains 2-2. Ball hit foul to the right side there. Bale steps into the batter's box, the righty going against a southpaw pitcher. Pitch comes in, and it is smacked into center field. Wow, a great play made there by the second baseman. That is an impressive throw by Brandon McLean Banks, who gets his second out of the inning, the second for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. And what looked like was going to be a single for Zach Bale turns into a ground out. Now Gabe Sanders stepping up to the plate, hoping to be the first Doubledays player to record a hit on the night. As right now there have been 5 Doubledays up to bat and 5 Doubledays down. As Sanders thinks about going there, is going to opt not to swing, and that's going to be strike 1. Second pitch of the at-bat comes in, and he does swing at that one, gets a piece of it, but rolls foul. So Sanders falls behind early with the 0-2 count, 2 outs on the board. And that one's going to be outside, so 1-2 count now for Gabe Sanders. Sanders on the season batting .316, 9 RBIs, and also 7 stolen bases. So if he gets on base, he is a threat to run. And that one's going to be strike 3, another one of those big breaking balls from Eli Shed, and a looking strikeout, his second looking strikeout of the night. And 6 batters up, 6 batters down for the Auburn Doubledays. They'll have Espinal, Murray, and Groves when they come up to bat next. And make sure to stay tuned for more Auburn Doubledays baseball on the Auburn Doubledays Sports Network. We're back here in the top of the third inning, and Jamestown been a bit more successful than Auburn to start off the game. Had a few runners on base already. Auburn has not had a runner on base yet, but still a 0-0 score. Coming up to plate is number 5, Nigel Sebastianelli, who hits it directly to Alex Sandell for the first out of the inning. So after walking in his first at-bat, Sebastianelli grounds out there. And coming up next is Leo Doyle, who struck out swinging in his first at-bat. It took Jamestown 2 innings to go through the entire lineup once, as that's ripped into left field, but it's going to go into the Auburn Doubledays bullpen. So 0-1 count here for Leo Doyle, the center fielder. Pitch for Rucci, breaking ball that's not going to get back into the zone. 1-1 count with 1 out. Comes in and a swing and a miss there for number 48, Leo Doyle. Doyle originally from Staten Island, so fairly local compared to some of the other players here. As that's going to be a foul ball there, just barely clips a piece of it and rolls on over. So 2-2 count. As the pitch from Rucci comes in, and breaking ball there just a bit too high. 71 mile per hour breaking ball. They're going to make the count full here, so full count for the batter, Leo Doyle. As that one not even close to strike zone, but I guess it's now a full count. A full count swing, and that's going to be fouled off behind Leo Doyle. Henry Juan on deck for Jamestown. Doyle looking to avoid his second strikeout of the night. Comes in, and that is way outside. So that's Andrew Rucci's 4th walk of the night. And we'll see Henry Juan stepping up to the plate. He popped out in his first at-bat. Juan with his .367 batting average, a senior out of Williams College from Big Flats, New York. And that's strike 1 on the at-bat with 0-1 count. .70 mile per hour pitch. That was not swung at, as Rucci throws it over to first base. Playing catch with Zach Bale right there. As there's going to be a throw there, and he picked off but wasn't able to make the throw, as Bale wasn't able to make the throw over to second base, and it's going to be a stolen base for Leo Doyle. Rucci threw it over to Zach Bale, just, again, the play didn't happen in time, and now we have a man on second base, Doyle on second, and Henry Juan still at the plate, as Juan takes a big swing there and doesn't make any contact. Now 0-2 count for Henry Juan, catcher. One advantage that Rucci has is when he's on first base is a much better angle, when he's pitching is a much better angle at first base because he's a lefty, as opposed to some righty pitchers who just have to turn a blind back to first. And so he did see Doyle run over to second and just wasn't able to make the play in time. pitch comes in there. That's going to be ripped into left field. Grundy makes the play there and throws it into number 3, Trevor Murray. So we're going to hold up the batters at first and third. That's a single there for Henry Juan. His first hit of the night after popping out in the first inning. Now Kobe Jones steps up to the plate, the cleanup batter who walked in his first at bat. So 1 out on the board, batters on the corners, first and third. As the pitch comes in there by Rucci, that's going to be hit directly to third base. And will there be the double play? Doesn't look like it got there in time, so that means a run will score for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. That's Leo Doyle crossing the plate, nearly the Fox 3 double play, but the throw by Murray got to Grapuso in time, but Grapuso couldn't get it over to the Zach Bale at first base for the third out of the inning. So Shaniel Maldonado was able to get a run scored, and that's going to be a deep hit into left field. Grundy's going to throw it in there, but it looks like another run will score for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. So now 2-0 game with 2 outs and a runner on second base. It was Kobe Jones that scored there. Maldonado knocked in the RBI with that double. So Stojanovic up at bat. He had a single in his first plate appearance, and he takes a golf swing there. Now falls behind 0-1 in the count. Still have Shaniel Maldonado on second base as Rucci steps off. Rucci giving up 3 hits on the night, also walked 4 batters. Not the greatest of starts for Andrew Rucci. That's lined out over to second base. A great play there by the second baseman Alex Sandell, who will end the inning, or end the top of the inning. So 2-0 Jamestown as we head into the bottom of the third. We'll see if Auburn will be able to come back from this 2-0 deficit in the third inning coming up next. Leading off for Auburn will be Fernando Espinal, the designated hitter and arguably the best hitter on this Auburn Doubledays roster. on the season, has a 373 batting average, and looking to really get things started for this Doubleday squad that hasn't had much success today. 3 batters up, 3 batters down in each of the last 2 innings. So yet to have an Auburn Doubledays player get on base. Zach Bale got close, but a few great plays made by the second baseman Brandon McLean Banks, who's really just had a standout game in the field as the second baseman. 1-1 count for Espinal. As the pitch comes in, and Espinal thinks about swinging there, but opts not to go for it. Espinal, lanky, 6'2", 175 pounds. Originally from Brooklyn, New York, now attends Ryan University. As that pitch misses the strike zone as well, so 3-1 count. Shed doesn't have the fastest of arms, but he does certainly have some good stuff. As that one's ripped into deep left center, as it looks like it's going to be a double, thrown into second base, but Espinal will stand up. He'll walk in standing for the double, does his little celebration on second base. So the first hit of the night for the Doubledays, that's Fernando Espinal. And now Trevor Murray steps up to the plate, the third baseman. Murray has not been too consistent of a hitter on the season with the .094 batting average. Keep an eye out for Espinal here. You might think about stealing. Got good amount of steals on the season. 13 stolen bags. So he's definitely a threat around the bases. And that's ripped into deep left. Looks like the left fielder, Kobe Jones, going to get underneath that one. Espinal thinks about going, but going to opt to stay at second base. Smart move there from Espinal. And Trevor Murray had a great shot there, but overall just going to be caught by Kobe Jones. One of those plays that great hit, but going to be fairly inconsequential as Dalton Grove's now stepping up to the plate, the catcher. With one out, really can't afford to strand Espinal on second base here. Start off the inning with a double, and now that you're down 2-0, can't afford to be leaving easy runs on base, as that one also going to be into deep left center, and Kobe Jones gets underneath that one again. So we've had 3 hard hit balls here in this inning, all hit into deep left center. Espinal's ended up being a double, while Murray's and Groves were both caught by the left fielder Kobe Jones. Alex Sandell, the last batter in the Auburn Doubledays lineup, steps up to the plate. Second baseman here. Sandell batting .217 on the season, 7 stolen bags. As the pitch nearly clips Sandell, forcing him to step out of the batter's box. Leadoff batter Gavin Grapuso on deck. As Sandell does not swing at that one, that's going to be strike one. Eli Shed with the 1-1 count here. Shed with 2 strikeouts on the night, both looking strikeouts, and has not given up, or has given up just 1 hit so far. No runs given up by Shed. As the pitch comes in, and that's going to be swung at and missed by Alex Sandell. He took a big slice at that one and wasn't able to make any contact chasing that one. That was a bit out of the zone. 1-2 count to Sandell. Pitch comes in, that's going to be down the middle a little bit low. The 2-2 count evens out here. Trip deuces with 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. As the pitch comes in, that's going to be in. Oh, that's going to be strike 3. Sandell really did not think that was a strike, but that is another looking strikeout for Eli Shed that will end the inning, as we saw Espinal was making a break towards third base, but not going to matter now that that was the third out of the inning. And we'll head into the fourth with the Doubleday still trailing 2-0. Aiden Wallace gonna kick things off here for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks at the top of fourth inning. Still have a girl left out on the field from when the kids just ran the bases after third inning. But leading things off is Aiden Wallace, the designated hitter. He walked in his first at bat. Still a little bit of patience as we're waiting on the girl to be escorted off the field. And now that she has been, we'll get things going. Andrew Rucci, 1 hit given up on the night. Sorry, 2 hits given up on the night. With 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. And 2 runs given up as well. As the breaking ball is going to be way outside there. His breaking ball has been finding the zone much lately. His fastball has been much more successful against these Tarp Skunks hitters. As the pitch comes in there, and that one does find the zone. So 1-1 count for Andrew Rucci. As the pitch comes in there, and just barely going to miss the zone, a tad inside there on the pitch by Rucci. Aiden Wallace, originally from Buffalo, New York, now playing at the University of Tampa. So clearly a pretty good player there if he's playing at a school as good as Tampa, because you know how they're generally a pretty solid contender there. As the pitch comes in, and that's going to be low, not even that close to the zone, and that's going to be ball 4. So that's Rucci's 5th walk of the night. And coming up next will be Steven Scarfone. So Wallace has walked in both of his at-bats. Scarfone struck out in his first at-bat. He's looking to avenge what happened to him last time. As that one is going to be a strike, so 0-1 count. Rucci's fastballs had a lot of success today. Breaking ball pitches not so much. As that one's going to be thrown over to first base. Zach Bale catching the pickoff attempt. Second pitch of the at-bat is swung on and hit to Alex Sandell. That looks like it's going to be a double play and doesn't get there in time. So it's going to be 1 out there for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Could have been a 4-6-3 double play, but ends up just being a fielder's choice. Now stepping up to the plate is Connor Kiefer, the third baseman, who struck out looking in his first at-bat. One out on the board with Steven Scarfone standing on first. 1-0 count. As that one's ripped into left field. That's going to stay fair, and Grundy comes underneath it and throws it into Gavin Grapuso, the shortstop. So now batters on first and second. That's Connor Kiefer's first hit of the night. And Brandon McLean Banks, who's been fantastic in the field, is going to be up next for the Doubledays as manager Steve LaRose going to have a chat with Andrew Rucci. Could be the end of Rucci's night. Likely we'll see him in for a few more batters, but that will be the end of Rucci's night. So we'll be back when this pitching change has been sorted with. Stay tuned for more Auburn Doubledays baseball. Garrett Potter coming in for Andrew Rucci. So Potter on the season for the Doubledays hasn't had a ton of time pitching, but 2.1 innings pitched thus far, only giving up 1 hit and 0 runs this time for the Doubledays. And that first pitch is instantly ripped out of play, but a deep shot left. 0-1 count against batter here. As now a 1-1 count against Brandon McLean Banks. G ends his night with 4 hits given up, 2 runs, 5 walks, and 3 strikeouts. As that pitch could be fouled off by number 42, Banks. 1-2 count with 1 out on the board, men on first and second. As that pitch, they're going to miss the zone, so 2-2 count. Pitch was 63 miles per hour on the breaking ball from Garrett Potter. Pitch comes in, and another swing that made contact but went foul. Third foul ball of the at-bat from McLean Banks. Banks 0 for 1 on the night so far. That one's way outside for ball 3. Got up to 80 miles per hour on that pitch. Not going to see Potter get too far above low 80s on his fastballs. As the pitch comes in, swung on and missed. A strikeout instantly from Garrett Potter, first coming into the game, and strikes out his first batter. And now we'll see the lineup flip around back to the top of the order as Nigel Sebastianelli steps up to the plate. Sebastianelli is 0 for 1 on the night. Walked in his first at bat and grounded out in his second at bat. As 1-0 count, the pitch comes in, and that will miss the zone. 2-0 count now with 2 outs. Steven Scarfone on second base and Connor Kiefer on first. Comes in, and that also just barely misses the zone, so 3-0 count. Potter way behind in this at-bat. As the pitch comes in, and that's going to be a strike there. So 3-1 count. And Potter's going to stay alive in the at-bat against Nigel Sebastianelli, shortstop. Leo Doyle on deck for the Tarp Skunks. As that pitch will not clip the zone. So that's a walk there, the first walk of the night for the pitcher Garrett Potter. And we'll see Leo Doyle stepping up to the plate. The center fielder with the bases loaded here. A lot of pressure on Doyle to put up some runs for Jamestown. As you see Dalton Groves go up to the pitcher's mound to have a meeting with Garrett Potter. Potter put in a sticky situation with men on first and second, only 1 out when he first came onto the mound. If the runners on either second or third score, they will count towards the ERA of Andrew Rucci, not the ERA of Garrett Potter. As first pitch of the at-bat comes in, that's going to be outside for ball 1. Any walk here will obviously score a run, so Potter really needs to avoid doing that here. Needs to manage to get an out somehow, as that's 0-2, now a 2-0 count. Doyle wants to have a big swing here, looking to really put a dent in the Doubledays' hopes. And that one also way outside, not really possible for Doyle to swing at any of those first 3 pitches. And now Potter one ball away from walking a batter in. As that one will be a strike on the outside. And did he get there in time? Oh, just barely misses that. A great heads-up play from Dalton Groves to throw it over to Trevor Murray at third base. Caught the runner, Steven Scarfone, slacking a little bit, but Scarfone did slide back into the bag on time, according to the field umpire. 3-1 count here. That play by Groves nearly saved a run for the Doubledays, but that pitch will be outside and a run will score. So the Doubledays falling behind 3-0 with a run scored there, and still the base is loaded. So again, still a tough situation for the Auburn Doubledays. Doesn't get any easier after that walk. So now stepping up to the plate will be Henry Juan. This is exactly who Jamestown wants up at bat in this spot as he hits it into right field. Tyler Lejeune runs underneath it, and he will put the Jamestown Tarp Skunks away. That's going to be the third out of the inning, and we'll head into the middle of the fourth with the Doubledays trailing 3-0. Don't go away. With the Doubledays down 3-0, Gavin Grapuso will step up to the plate, and it is his birthday today, so we'll see if he can put one of his birthday wishes towards getting a hit here. He is 0 for 1 on the night. We have gone through the entire Doubledays order in the first 3 innings. Now, the leadoff batter back up to hit for his second at bat of the night as he thinks about putting down a bunt, pulls it back, and 0-1 now after that pitch finds the strike zone. Only 66 miles per hour there on the pitch by Eli Shed. Shed has 3 strikeouts on the night, all of them looking strikeouts, none swinging, as that pitch a bit low for ball one. Shed has only given up 1 hit. That was a double that was smacked by Fernando Espinal to deep left center. As that one ripped directly back towards Eli Shed for a line out there by Gavin Rupert. So no birthday luck yet. We'll see if in his third at bat he can make something happen. Ethan Fulton now stepping up to the plate. He struck out looking in his first at bat. As that first pitch can be a strike, breaking ball there from Shed. As that pitch misses the zone, 1-1 count. 1 out on the board for the Doubledays. Comes in, and that will be strike 2. Fulton not swinging a ton in his at-bats. However, he's going to look to avoid a second consecutive looking strikeout as he rips that one into deep right center, and that will be caught by the right fielder Steven Scarfone for the second out of the inning. Now stepping up to the plate is Tyler Lejeune, the right fielder, who grounded out to end the first inning. Now looking to avoid getting out to end fourth inning. First pitch comes in here, and that will be ball one. It's low and outside. Just over an hour of this game played thus far, as that one can be swung on and missed by Tyler Lejeune. He falls behind, or ties the count at 1-1. That breaking ball will find the center of the strike zone, so 1-2 count. And that one hit by Lejeune and will land fair for a base hit. That is Lejeune's first hit of the night, the second hit for the Doubledays. And now Ryan Grundy will step up to the plate with a batter on first base. Tyler Lejeune, batting .250 on the season, picked up a hit right there. As that one ripped by Ryan Grundy, and that is fair. Grundy with a powerful swing there. Looks like Lejeune will be able to get there on time, and he does, in fact, get there. So a run scores for the Doubledays, and we see Grundy stopped at second base. A fantastic double there from Ryan Grundy to get a run across for Auburn. Doubledays still behind 3-1 with a runner on second as Zach Bale steps up to the plate. He grounded out in his first at-bat. A single here would likely bring this game to a one-run deficit, as Grundy he has the wheels to easily get to home plate off of a single. As that first pitch going to be looking strike from Zach Vale. Gabe Sanders on deck for the Doubledays. Jamestown only winning the hit battle 4-3, but up 3-1 on the scoreboard. That's going to be strike two right there. So Vale far behind in the count now, down 0-2. Shed is now giving up hits on the night, and that one's going to be swung on and whiffed by Zach Bale. That's going to be the first swinging strikeout of the night for Eli Shed, his fourth overall strikeout, and the Doubledays do get on the board, so they'll avoid that goose egg, but still trailing 3-1 as we head into the fifth inning. Stay tuned here on the Auburn Doubledays Sports Network. Stepping up to the plate is number 10 for Jamestown, Kobe Jones. As that's a 1-0 count early on for Kobe Jones, who walked in his first at-bat, fielder's choice in his second. Now a 1-1 count. Has some damage certainly done to Auburn last inning, but got out of it with just 1 run scored. At the end, not the worst thing in the world, as that's going to be the first out of the inning there on the fly out by Kobe Jones. Now Shaniel Maldonado stepping up to the plate for Jamestown. Maldonado had a huge double in his second at bat earlier in the 3rd inning that scored a run. Grounded out in his first at bat. So he's 1 for 2 on the night. Second pitch of the at bat comes in and doesn't swing at that one. 2-0 count. That also misses the zone. So Garrett Potter falling behind early, 3-0, with 1 out on the board. DJ Stoyanovich on deck, and he will be up now because that's a walk there for Shaniel Maldonado. He remains 1 for 2 on the night, and now Garrett Potter with 2 walks on the thing. Stoyanovich steps up to the plate with a runner on first. Stoyanovich also 1 for 2 on the night thus far. He had a single in his first plate appearance. And now it's a righty Garrett Potter going against the righty DJ Stoyanovich. That first pitch misses the zone for ball 1. 5th straight ball for Garrett Potter. That pitch will also miss the zone. 6 straight balls. That pitch comes in, and another one not able to clip the top of the zone, so 3-0 count. Second straight at bat in which we've seen Potter get himself into this situation. Will he be able to escape it this time? A runner goes there, and doesn't really matter. Maldonado would have stolen that base either way, but it's going to be a walk. So Stoyanovich will take his base. Now batters on first and second with Aiden Wallace stepping up to play it. Wallace has walked in both of his prior at-bats. Now 1 out. Batters or runners on first and second. Looks to be a little bit of movement in the Doubledays bullpen, but not a lot. A big swing there, not going to catch anything on the swing by Aiden Wallace, the designated hitter. That will break the streak of 8 consecutive balls thrown by Garrett Potter. Throws another one right there. 1-1 count with 1 out on the board. 2 runners still on. Daniel Maldonado on second, DJ Stoyanovich on first. Another one that misses the zone barely, just a tad too high. 2-1 count. 79 miles per hour on the pitch there from Potter. That one also not finding the zone. Some stylistic differences here between first pitcher Andrew Rucci and Garrett Potter, who's now pitching. Potter was much more successful with his breaking balls, where I think Rucci was finding a lot more success with his fastballs. As that one will also miss the zone. He knew it as soon as it came down. So Wallace going to take his base. He walks for the 3rd time tonight, and now we'll have Steven Scarfone coming up to the plate as Steve LaRose will think about taking out Garrett Potter here, who has now loaded the bases with 1 out, 3 consecutive walks. See if he opts to go to his bullpen here or just trust in Potter to get himself out of this jam. Our pitchers warming up in the bullpen. Also a little bit of movement in the Jamestown bullpen as well, as we'll see Potter left in the game. So LaRose will have some confidence in him to get himself out of this one. But we have seen recently that if LaRose does leave his batter or his pitcher in the game in a tough situation, any walk or any hit will instantly result in him being pulled from the game. As that first pitch brushes up against the batter, Steven Scarfone. Scarfone 0 for 2 on the night. He had a strikeout, and a fielder's choice. That one will find the inside of the strike zone. 1-1 count. 1 out on the board. Potter with just 1 strikeout on the night. His first batter that he saw, he struck out, as that one going to be fouled off. Scarfone hit himself in the leg with that ball. 1-2 count. Out here, massive for Garrett Potter. Throws it in there and gets a missed swing from Steven Scarfone. That is a second strikeout for Garrett Potter and a second out on the inning. So with bases still loaded, Connor Kiefer steps up to the plate. He had a hit in his last at bat, struck out looking his first at bat. So he's 1 for 2 on the night, and this is a massive at bat here for the third baseman, who bases loaded, 2 outs. A lot of potential to put runs on the board and some great risk here to strand 3 runners. As that first pitch, a breaking ball that does find the zone, so 0-1 count for the pitcher Garrett Potter. Potter has not yet allowed a hit, has walked 4 batters. And that one going to be ripped into short left field, and we'll see Ryan Grundy manage to come underneath that and prevent any Tarp Skunks from scoring in this inning. So a great job by the pitcher Garrett Potter to get out of that jam. Good move there by Coach Steve LaRose to let himself get out of that jam. And now we'll head into the bottom of the 5th with the Doubledays still trailing by 2 runs. Stay tuned for more Auburn Doubledays baseball. Gabe Sanders going to lead things off for the Doubledays at the bottom of the 5th inning. Sanders struck out looking in his first at-bat. Eli Shed still pitching for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Fernando Espinal on deck. Trevor Murray in the hole for the Doubledays. 1-0 count and a shot into short right field. That's going to be a single, blooper single for Gabe Sanders. His first hit on the night. And now Fernando Espinal, who had the Doubledays' first hit back in the third inning, steps up to the plate. He had a double. Now with a batter on first base, a lot of potential for damage to be done here. Espinal going against Eli Shed. One thing about Espinal is he's a very precise hitter, smart when he gets into the batter's box. So he matches up well against a guy like Shed, who has a lot of stuff, but not a ton of speed. So it wouldn't be surprising here to see Espinal come away with another hit in this at-bat. As that pitch low in the dirt. 2-0 count for Fernando Espinal. As the throw there over to the first baseman, DJ Stoyanovich. See Gabe Sanders dive, and he's safe there. Third pitch of the at-bat, and Sanders is going to run. That's going to be ripped into left field, so that's caught by the left fielder Kobe Jones, who's gotten a good amount of outs today. And what would have been a steal by Gabe Sanders turns into an out as Fernando Espinal gets the fly out, and Sanders is forced to run back to first base. Trevor Murray now steps up to the plate with 1 out on the board. Still have Sanders on first. Murray flied out in his first at-bat. It was a good swing, a beautiful shot into left field, but wasn't able to get away from Kobe Jones. So that first pitch is outside, 1-0 count. Another throw there to the first baseman Stoyanovich. And still too slow to get Sanders, but keeping him honest as he takes a few steps off the bag. Another throw over to first base, and he does slide safe again. Stoyanovich practically straddling the bag, really trying to keep Sanders from taking too heavy of a lead, as that one swung on by Murray. That might be a double play, and it will be a 5-6-3 double play for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks to end the inning. And we'll head into the sixth inning. Doubleday still trailing by 2 runs. We'll see if they can keep that deficit from growing, as Jamestown has a few good batters up on deck. It'll be kicking it off is Brandon McLean Banks, followed by Nigel Sebastianelli and Leo Doyle for Jamestown next. So stay tuned for more Auburn Doubledays baseball. Stepping up to the plate is Brendan McLean Banks, who is 0 for 2 on the night so far. Got out in his first at bat, struck out in his second at bat, so looking to do some damage here. The 1-0 count for McLean Banks. Potter managed to get himself out of a pickle in the last inning, where he faced some difficulty, loaded the bases with walks, and got out of it by striking out Steven Scarfone and then forcing Connor Kiefer to pop out. 2-1 count. Pitch comes in, that's way outside. 3-1 count for McLean Banks. There's a nice snag by Dalton Groves to keep in front of him. That one ripped towards Gavin Grapuso. Slides. Can he make the throw while sitting down? Does not get there in time, but still a great effort play by Gavin Grapuso, the shortstop. That's going to be single by McLean Banks. And now Nigel Sebastianelli steps up to the plate. He is 0 for 1 on the night with 2 walks. That is the first hit Garrett Potter has given up so far tonight. Top of the 6th inning here. Jamestown with just one more hit than the Doubledays. It was tied heading into the inning. 1-0 count. As that pitch also misses the zone, so 2-0. 2-0. Third pitch of the at-bat comes in, and that's swung on, hit into shallow left, and is too far foul for the fielders to make a play at it. So 2-1 count now. Sebastianelli obviously gotten on base twice. He's had a fairly successful day so far. Still looking for that first hit on the night for him. The sophomore out of Niagara County Community College, who takes a third walk right there. So 3-1 count. Stole a base in the first inning after getting that walk, and he will walk for a third time tonight. So he has now walked 3 times in 4 at bats. Now Leo Doyle steps up to the plate with batters on first and second. 0 outs. Wouldn't be surprising if there's a call to the bullpen soon. Looks like it might be Juan Perez coming in relief. As that pitch going to be behind the batter, goes behind Leo Doyle. Now a 1-0 count. Doyle has also walked twice in his first 3 at-bats, struck out in his first. If I had to guess, one more batter gets on base, and Rose will be making a call to the bullpen, as will there'll be a double play. Sandell throws it over to Grapuso, so there'll be 1 out there. Double plays haven't really been clicking for the Doubledays today, but there'll still be men on the corners, first and third, but the 4-6 out at second base manages to not have the bases still loaded. 1 out on the board, and we see Henry Juan stepping up to the plate. Last time he was up, the bases were loaded, and as arguably the best hitter on this Jamestown team, you would expect him to do better things than what he did, which was he proceeded to hit a fly out. Now he's stepping up to the plate here with 1 out, batters on first and third, looking for redemption after what happened in the last at-bat. He throws a fastball right down the middle. That's a great pitch there from Garrett Potter for strike 1 on the at-bat. Second pitch of the at-bat is going to be too far outside, just misses the zone, and now a 1-1 count, 1 out. On deck is Kobe Jones, who's had a fairly successful night, especially in the field where he has really thrived, as Leo Doyle looked to get the steal there, was halfway towards first when it was swung on and fouled. Halfway towards second. That one also outside. Juan, a fairly disciplined hitter, doesn't have a ton of strikeouts on the season. Has not struck out today. And the throw, not going to be thrown down to second base. A pump fake there by the catcher Dalton Groves. That'll be a stolen base there from Leo Doyle. Now runners on second and third, so 2 runners in scoring position. Juan, a full count for Juan. Pitch comes in and going to be barely nipped foul. Looked like that swing could have turned into a nice bunt attempt. It stayed fair instead. The count will still remain full. 1 out on the board. A strikeout. It's huge here for Garrett Potter. This is likely going to be his last inning for the Doubledays. Pitch comes in, swung on, hit to Gavin Grapuso. He holds both batters on their bags. A great play there from Gavin Grapuso to nail an out over at first base and prevent a single run from scoring. So Henry Juan rounds out in his 4th at-bat of the night. Now Kobe Jones steps up to the plate. He is 0 for 2 on the night. Walked in his first at-bat, had a fielder's choice in his second, and flew out in his third. Left fielder, though, has had a great night on defense in left field, as he's not going to swing at that first pitch. Disciplined mindset here from Kobe Jones. 1-0 count. 2 outs now. Russo's fielding is valuable for the Doubledays team. Second pitch is in the dirt. 2-0 count. Potter can't afford to fall too far behind in this count, but first base is open, so a walk would not be as devastating as it would have been if the bases were loaded like last inning. 3-0 count. As Groves tosses it back to Potter. Shaniel Maldonado on deck, who has gone 1 for 2 thus far on the night. Double and a walk. Round out. As that one swung on, to be popped foul. Or no, that will stay in. The third baseman, Trevor Murray, makes the play to retire the Tarp Skunks, and will head into the bottom of the 6th inning, with the Doubledays still trailing by 2 runs. Now batting is Dalton Groves for the Doubledays. He's kicking things off here, bottom of the sixth inning. Doubledays trailing by 2 runs after they picked up a run in the fourth inning, which prevented them from being shut out on the night, but they still need another two to be able to tie things up. And that's going to be fouled off by Dalton Groves. We have pitcher for the Tarp Skunks. That's Austin Kalsak, a senior out of Grand Canyon University. Let's count to 0-2. And that's going to bunk Groves right in the back. So coming up next is Alex Sandell as Groves going to take his base. Didn't take Kalsak very long to make a first impression there as he flips Groves right in the back. First batter he sees. Comes in, and that's a bunt laid down by Sandell. Will he get there in time? No, but he does advance Dalton Groves to second base. Sacrifice bunt laid down there by Alex Sandell. So now Gavin Grupuso will come to the plate as the lineup flips back to the top of the order. 1 out and a runner on second, so a runner in scoring position for the Doubledays. Grupuso hasn't put any of his birthday luck to good use yet. Popped out in the first inning, lined out in his second at bat. Now comes up for his third at bat of the night. The Jamestown Tarp Skunks have had much better luck getting on base thus far. We've already seen a few Tarp Skunks batters get their fourth at bats done with. Well, this is going to be the first Doubledays player to get their third at bat. 0-1 count to Gavin Grupuso. Then and now 1-1 count. Fighting to advance Groves here. Doesn't even need to be hit, just needs to advance Groves and likely will do that. The ground out to Brendan McLean Banks at second. Goes to Stoyanovich at first. So now there's going to be 2 outs on the board for the Doubledays, but Dalton Groves is standing on third base, ready to run home. Ethan Fulton steps up to the plate. 0 for 2 on the night is Fulton, but he's due for a hit here. Now ball 1, so 1 out count for Ethan Fulton. Tyler Lejeune on deck. He got a single in his last at bat. As that one can be fouled off by Fulton. A defensive swing there. Chops at it and hits it just behind him. Polsek comes in and Fulton did not go, so 2-1 count. More successful hitter than Fulton has been. Significantly more successful. As that will be a walk for Ethan Fulton. So that is the first walk on the night for Austin Kalsak. Tyler Lejeune steps up to the plate here. 1 for 2 on the night. And we'll see the manager for the Tarp Skunks, Ryan Hill, go talk with his pitcher. left runners on the corners. I doubt he's coming out of the game here, but likely just giving him a boost of confidence. He's only pitched 2/3 of an inning so far. Delving deeper into Callsack's stats, he has 5 games pitched in on the season, 1 game started, and 13.2 total innings pitched. 19 hits given up, 16 runs, 13 of them to go along with 15 strikeouts. His record on the year is 1. Pretty high ERA, which he's looking to lower with here, but hasn't been off to the strongest of starts with runner in scoring position and a runner on first base. With Tyler Lejeune up to bat. 2 outs on the board though, as that pitch going to be down the middle for strike 1. Ryan Grundy on deck for the Doubledays. He had a massive double in his last at bat. June down in the count 0-1 right now. That one is a nice breaking ball there to make it an 0-2 count. Good amount of movement on that pitch. Throw over to DJ Stoyanovich to keep the runner honest. And that pitch going to be high. Wouldn't be surprised if the Doubledays send Fulton here on a steal attempt. 1-2 count for batter, Tyler Lejeune. Pitch comes in, that's going to be fouled off, so Lejeune staying alive with that foul ball. The pitch by Allside comes in, hit directly to the third baseman, and the third baseman will make the play. A great throw there by Connor Kiefer to toss it over to DJ Stoyanovich and prevent the Doubledays from scoring a run. So we'll head into the 7th inning as the Doubledays still trail by 2. Stay tuned for more Auburn Doubledays baseball on the Auburn Doubledays Sports Network. Pitching change here for the Auburn Doubledays. Down to their third pitcher of the night. Anders Axelson gonna replace Garrett Potter here. So Potter with a fairly solid outing. 5 walks for Garrett Potter, but had a few strikeouts, and the main thing, didn't give up that many runs. Only 1 run given up by Garrett Potter. So Axelson's first pitch is a strike against Shaniel Maldonado. As a blazing pitch there is going to be in the dirt by Dalton Groves to keep that one in front of him. Pitch there is going to be whacked right to Gavin Grapuso, who isn't able to corral that ball. It's going to be an E6 error on Gavin Grapuso, the first error of the night for either team. And we'll see Maldonado on first base. Now DJ Stojanovic up to bat. He's 0 for 1 or 1 for 2 on the night. He had a single in his first at bat, grounded out in his second at bat, and walked in his third at bat. Anders Axelson, a junior at Keuka College, originally Lansing, New York. And that pitch misses outside. Axelson overall just tends to miss on the right side of the plate significantly more than he does miss on the left side of the plate, giving him a slight advantage against righty batters. That one misses there. 2-0 count. Comes in here and coming soon. That'll be a 3-0 count. Nearly gets away from Groves. Groves throws it down to second base. Not able to get there in time. Good attempt there by Groves, but Maldonado is going to be too quick there. That's a stolen base for Shaniel Maldonado. And now DJ Stojanovic up 3-0 in the count. Might end up being for nothing, as might see a walk here from Anders Axelson in his second batter faced. No count. Pitch comes in, and that will miss the zone. So 4 consecutive balls for Anders Axelson. Walks Stojanovic for his second walk of the night, and Aiden Wallace now steps up to the plate. Wallace has walked in all 3 of his at-bats today. Can he do it for a 4th straight time? Or can he finally get that elusive first hit? One out count for Anders Axelson against Aiden Wallace. As a swing and a miss there, so breaks the streak of 5 straight balls for Anders Axelson. 1-1 count. As the pitch rocked into center field, or left field, and that's Ryan Grundy coming down with it. Maldonado pump fake towards third base, but he's going to be held up off of the throw by Grundy. So Grundy doing a great job to track that ball in left field, and it was a good smack by Wallace, but ends up being a flyout, breaking his streak of 3 straight walks. Now Steven Scarfone steps up to the plate with 1 out on the board, 2 runners on the bags. Scarfone is 0 for 3 on the night with 2 swinging strikeouts and a fielder's choice. Takes the first pitch for a strike. Axelson's gotten himself into a bit of trouble this inning, but as that one's fouled off there. Scarfone down 0-2 in the count early. Right now, Anders Axelson looking to improve his high ERA. He's only been a reliever so far for the Doubledays. Has an ERA of 27 so far. And that'll be a strike 3 strikeout for Steven Scarfone. So Axelson picks up his first K of the night. Now Connor Kiefer steps up to the plate with 2 outs on the board. Trying to avoid stranding runners on first and second. Kiefer on the night is 1 for 3. He struck out, popped out, and has a single. As the pitch comes in for Axelson, a great pitch there down the middle, and it looks like it's going to be the final out of the inning as Trevor Murray tosses it over to Sandell, the second baseman, for the final out. So we'll head into the 7th inning stretch. Doubledays trailing by 2 still. We'll see if they can put together a rally soon and tie this game up or even take a lead of their own. So stay tuned for more Doubledays baseball. We just heard a beautiful rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game by the fantastic voices in the crowd of the Auburn Doubledays. And now we have Ryan Grundy stepping up to the plate in the bottom of the 7th inning. Still going against Austin Kalsek, the relief pitcher for the Tarp Skunks, as Grundy looks off that first pitch, which is the zone. 1-0 count. Grundy on the night, 1 for 2. He had a double in his second at bat. So a lot of Doubledays players really pick up some steam in their second time through the order, but still haven't been able to put a ton of runs on the board, just that 1 run. 2-0 count to Grundy. Pitch comes in, and it's going to be a 2-1 count now. Pitch comes Kalsak, and Austin Kalsak throws his second strike of the at-bat, 2-2 count. Zach Bale on deck for the Doubledays. He's 0 for 2 on the night, looking to turn things around here. As that one's way inside and in the dirt, so full count for the batter Ryan Grundy. Grundy, a disciplined batter, but a lot of walks and a lot of strikeouts. It means doesn't swing at a lot of full count pitches, and that one is going to be swung at, hit to the shortstop Nigel Sebastianelli, and that'll be a hit for field single for Ryan Grundy. Zach Bale now steps up to the plate with a batter on runner on first base. There's a great stop there by Sebastianelli, but pretty much no shortstop is going to be able to make that play unless you're Derek Jeter. But some good awareness there by Kalsak, throwing it over to first base, but wasn't able to get there in time. Will keep Ryan Grundy honest, however. That is Grundy's 16th. Sorry, that will improve Grundy's batting average on the season. He's at 241 right now after his 2 hits tonight. Will likely surpass the 250 mark. Zach Bale still looking for his first hit of the night, or even a plate appearance. As Grundy will run there, and does he get there in time? He does not. The throw gets there in time. Grundy is in disbelief. Looks like the ball might have fallen out of his glove, but yeah, Grundy just cannot believe what that call was. He hasn't even left the bag yet, and Steve LaRose is going to go out there to talk to the field umpire. Grundy has helmet in hand, looking out into center field as the 2 umpires will have a conversation on whether or not he thought he was safe. And they do rule him to be safe. So that outburst by Grundy did prove to be victorious, and now it's a 1-1 count to Zach Bale with a runner on second. As that one ripped into left field by Zach Bale. That's going to be an easy double. We'll see both runners stand up into their bags. Actually, Bale will slide, but didn't really need to slide there. He flaps his arms, and that's a run scored for the Doubledays. As Ryan Grundy crosses home plate, Zach Bale with a single to break himself out of a mini slump that he's been in recently. Now Gabe Sanders stepping up to the plate. Still have Zach Bale on second base with 0 outs. And now Doubledays within 1 run of tying this thing up. Tying run on second base. Gabe Sanders 1 for 2 on the night. He had a single in his last at-bat. Now the Doubledays do have more hits than Jamestown does so far, as that's going to be a pop out to the first baseman. Stoyanovich gets underneath that one, and it only takes 1 pitch to get Gabe Sanders out. So 1 out on the board. Fernando Espinal stepping up to the plate. He's 1 for 2 on the night. He had the Doubledays' first hit back in the 3rd inning. Any sort of base hit here would be absolutely huge from Fernando Espinal. With 1 out on the board. As the pitch gets away from the catcher Henry Kwan, and that's going to be Zach Bale advancing to third base. This drastically changes things, as now Espinal doesn't even need to get a base hit. Just putting one into the outfield likely would be able to score Zach Bale from third base. Bale 90 feet away from tying up this game. As a chopped swing there is going to be foul. So now a 1-1 count for Fernando Espinal. The pitch comes in and a bunt laid down. Oh, wow, he gets there. Is he out of the baseline? Oh, wow, he does call him out of the baseline. That's going to be called out. Zach Bale can't believe that call, but probably was the right call. So, attempted bunt laid down by Fernando Espinal, missed on the bunt attempt, and that's going to be Zach Bale getting out. So the runner on third turns into nobody on. 2 outs, and Fernando Espinal down 1-2 in the count. So a fantastic opportunity for the Doubledays to tie up the game turns into disaster, as now they are still down by a run, and that hit from Fernando Espinal will be popped foul directly behind him. Espinal still down 1-2 in the count. On deck is the third baseman Trevor Murray, who's 0 for 2 on the night. As the bat goes flying there on the swing by Fernando Espinal. So Coach Steve LaRose is going to be returning bat to him here. Take a nice stroll over to third base, Coach. Kolsek has had a fairly successful night so far. He's given up a run, but overall has been pitching his way out of some tough jams that he's gotten himself into. Wouldn't be surprised, though, if Kolsek exits the game for the final 2 innings. And we'll see if manager Ryan Hill of the Tarp Skunks will opt to bring in a closer to end the game against the Doubledays. This would be a big win here for Jamestown, who are just short of 500, and there's a wild pitch right there. 79 miles per hour outside. Trip deuces on the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And that one swung on, hit down the third base line, and that's going to be an error by the third baseman, Connor Kiefer. So Fernando Espinal will be on first base with Trevor Murray coming to the plate. You got to think about what might have happened if Zach Bale never got caught trying to sneak towards home plate. Great play there by the catcher Henry Juan to get out Zach Bale, but now Doubledays still have a little bit of hope left in this 7th inning with Fernando Espinal on first base, Trevor Murray at the plate, Dalton Groves on deck. As a swing and a miss by Trevor Murray, a great throw there, and that will be there in time. A fantastic throw by Henry Juan to catch Fernando Espinal stealing. So we'll have Trevor Murray leading off for the Doubledays the next time Auburn is up to bat. Batting next for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks at the top of the 8th inning will be Brandon McLean Banks, Nigel Sebastianelli, and Leo Doyle. So stay tuned for more Auburn Doubledays baseball as we head into the 8th inning. Anders Axelson still on the bump for the Doubledays. As we see Brandon McLean Banks stepping up to the plate for Tarp Skunks. McLean Banks 1 for 3 on the night. He had a single in his last at bat. As pitched are way inside. Away from Dalton Groves, the catcher. Now have a chat with Axelson. Axelson has faced 6 batters so far and has done fairly well against them. A few walks, a few strikeouts, and overall hasn't allowed a run, which is the main goal for a Doubledays team that's trying to fight its way back into this game. That 2-run third inning for Jamestown was huge because it's really just been keeping them playing ahead the entire night. But the Doubledays sneaking back in there, that 1 run in the 4th and then a run in the 7th, and the Doubledays close up against the Tarp Skunks. Pitch on the 1-0 count comes in, and that will find the strike zone. Strike at the at bat, 1-1 count. And that one, another one way outside. And gets away from Dalton Groves again. The Doubledays typically rotate between a cycle of the 3 catchers, Dalton Groves, Alfred Hoddy, and Logan Scully. I'd say out of the 3, Groves is the best, has the strongest arm out of the 3, while I'd argue that Scully, best hitter, while Hoddy might have the best arm out of the 3, or might have the best fielding, catching abilities. Excuse me. 2-2 count. No outs on the board yet. As the pitch comes in, and that's swung on and missed. A big swing there from Brendan McLean Banks, and he gets his 2nd strike out of the game. Now Nigel Sebastianelli steps up to the plate. He has walked in 3 of his 4 at-bats tonight. Axelson has only thrown 1 walk thus far. As bunt attempt pulled back by Sebastianelli. Nobody on base, 1 out for Tarp Skunks. That one way outside, a little bit high as well. Groves made a nice snag there to keep the ball in front of him. As a rip there into left field. That's going to be a blooper single for the leadoff batter, Nigel Sebastianelli. That's his first hit of the night. Makes him 1 for 2 with 3 walks. That's the first hit of the night given up by Anders Axelson. Theo Doyle up to the plate for Tarp Skunks. He is 0 for 2 with 2 walks. He also has a stolen base. As the pitch outside there by Anders Axelson. Can't afford to have any more pass balls now that there is a batter on base, or a runner on base. And a throw over to first. That's to keep Sebastianelli honest. To Doyle, who's coming in soon. And that's way inside. Now 2-0 count to Leo Doyle, the center fielder. Doyle, a sophomore at Wagner College, batting .241 on campaign for the Tarp Skunks. And another pitch that is going to miss the strike zone a bit low and inside. So 3-0 count. Axelson way behind with a runner still on first base. So a walk here puts a runner into scoring position. And that will be strike one of the at-bat. So 3-1 count, 1 out on the board. 77-mile-per-hour pitch there from Axelson. And that one ripped towards the third baseman. Can we get the double play? And the Doubledays get their first double play of the night. A 5-6-3 double play for the Auburn Doubledays, and that will end the 8th inning, or at least the top of the 8th inning. We'll head into the bottom of the 8th inning with the Doubledays trailing by just 1 run and a lot of momentum heading into these final 1.5 innings. Stay tuned for more Auburn Doubledays baseball. A new pitcher up for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. It is Hayden Givens Craig, a righty pitcher out of the University of Tampa. He's going against Trevor Murray, the leadoff batter here. 9th batter in the Auburn Doubledays order. Sorry, 8th batter, Doubledays order. The first pitch comes in, and it's a breaking ball way up and away for ball 1. 1-0 count. Doubledays still trailing by 1 run, as that is another up and away. Will hit the top right corner of the strike zone, so 1-1 count. On deck is Dalton Groves, and in the hole is Alex Sandell to round out the Auburn Doubledays lineup. That one's going to skip on past the catcher, Juan. Juan has an absolute cannon, has thrown out a few runners today at second base, but hasn't been able to field a lot of the pitches, the wild pitches being thrown to him. That one swung on and missed by Trevor Murray. Now 2-2 in the count. Big swing there by Murray. If he got a piece of that, it would have traveled a long ways, but he's still 0 for 2 on the night. He had a big fly out in his first at bat, and then just an out in his second at bat as well. And that one going to be smacked towards the Doubledays dugout. Foul ball. Looking around the PGCBL, some of the other games that have happened, the Newark Pilots won 14-3 over the Elmira Pioneers. The Batavia Muckdogs with a 7-0 win over the Geneva Red Wings, and a few other games that haven't finished yet, such as in the bottom of the sixth right now, Elmira Pioneers up 5-0 on the Newark Pilots. A few games that have some standing occasions as playoff seeding is becoming ever more important as we get closer to the end of the playoffs, or end of the regular season, as that one hit down, turned into a bunt off of a big swing from Trevor Murray, and great play by the pitcher to get him out at first base. Givens Craig with a great throw there to nab the runner at first, and now we see Dalton Groves stepping up to the plate, going against the pitcher Hayden Givens Craig. That first pitch is outside. 1-0 count. Second pitch, the at bat comes in, and it will be a strike right down the middle for strike one. 1-1-1 on the scoreboard. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. As a bloop chopper hit by Dalton Groves, and that will be put out there. A nice 6-3 put out by the shortstop Nigel Sebastianelli. So 2 consecutive ground outs forced by the pitcher Hayden Givens Craig, and now Alex Sandell steps up to the plate. Big at bat here because if he doesn't manage to get on base here, then Doubledays will have just 1 inning left to try to get a run to score. Gavin Grusso on deck for the Auburn Doubledays. As the first pitch there thrown a bit low, it's going to be ball 1, 1-0 count right now. Pitch comes in, and that's going to be ripped towards the shortstop, Nigel Sebastianelli. The throw does not get the... Oh! They say that it did get there in time. I thought he had that beat out, but the field ump will call that out at first base. Doesn't look like Sandell is too happy about that call, but he'll walk right on back, and we'll head into the final inning of action with the Doubledays still trailing by 1 run. Stay tuned for the final inning of your Auburn Doubledays baseball. Doubledays head into the final inning of action, still trailing by a run. Henry Juan leading things off for the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Really getting into the meat of the Jamestown lineup here. Juan, followed by Kobe Jones and Shaniel Maldonado. That first pitch was a ball, so 1-0 count. Second pitch comes in, that's swung on and will foul just outside the third base line. 1-1 count. About 2.5 hours into the game. Doubledays trailing by a run. Anders Axelson, third inning of work here for the Doubledays. That pitch way outside, 2-1 count. Breaking ball, 66 mile per hour there from Axelson. As that pitch hit really high towards the left fielder, and Grundy will make an excellent snag there as he runs underneath it and will get the first out of the inning. So Henry Juan has been relinquished there. Now Kobe Jones steps up to the plate. Rough night for Jones, who is 0 for 3 with a walk. Jones generally at least a top 2 hitter on this Tarp Skunk squad. That'll be ball 1 on the breaking ball there. That just misses the outside of the zone. 1-0 count, 1 out on the board. That one also misses the zone, so 2-0 count. Jones on the season, 350 batting average, 28. And that one's going to be ripped towards Gavin Grapuso, who has been excellent all night and nearly misses Zach Bale high, but luckily Zach Bale is 6'6" and able to extend his wingspan and make that grab above his head. Now 2 outs on the board for the Doubledays, and stepping up to the plate will be Shaniel Maldonado, who is 1 for 3, 1 for 3 on the night. He has a double, a walk, error, and a ground out. So really doing a little bit of everything, even as a stolen base going along with that. Maldonado batting .226 on the Newark, New Jersey. This could be the last batter C of the Tarp Skunks tonight. Up in the count 2-0. 2 outs on the board. See that bat coming up, and that will not be swung on. It is a strike, however. So 2-1 count for the pitcher Anders Axelson against Shaniel Maldonado, the extra hitter. Another pitch misses outside. Axelson way behind here. Deck is Stoyanovich. As that pitch will be swung on and will stay fair. Oh, it does not. Clipped off of the foot of Maldonado. Did roll inside the third line. Now a full count here with 2 outs on the board. Sixth pitch of the at-bat comes in, and that will be a walk. So ball 4 there. Maldonado will take his base. And now DJ Stojanovic steps up to the plate. He is 1 for 2 on the night with walks in each of his last 2 at-bats. Tarp Skunks have yet to employ a pinch hitter in this contest. That first pitch going to miss the zone, low and away. Pitch comes in, and that will be right down the middle. Great throw there. 81 mile per hour fastball from Anders Axelson. Axelson generally tops out at around 83.4 on his fastball. Breaking ball generally around 70, 71. That's another beautiful 82 mile per hour fastball right down the gutter. And he'll take the edge 1-2 in this at bat. Some pitch. It's just outside. 2-2 count, 2 outs on the board. Big pitch coming up here from Axelson. See Stojanovic approach the plate. Axelson throws it, and it's a swing and a miss. A fantastic strikeout. A beautiful 78 mile per hour pitch there from the pitcher Anders Axelson to retire DJ Stojanovic, and we'll head into the bottom of the 9th inning. Doubledays still just have to get one more run in order to tie this game up and send it into extra innings. Stay tuned for an exciting last inning of Doubledays baseball. It'll still be Hayden Givens-Craig on the mound for the Tarp Skunks in this one. Givens-Craig, one of the best pitchers on the Jamestown roster. 27 innings pitched thus far on the season, only given up 9 earned runs. That's an ERA of 3.00. Also has a strikeout total of 23. Very prolific thrower. He's 1-1 on the season. That's his record. Also has 2 saves. Going against the leadoff hitter, Gavin Grupuso. It is his birthday today. Will he be able to get a hit on his birthday? Because he's 0 for 3 so far. Bolton on deck, the active hitter. As that one could be ripped towards the second baseman, Brandon McLean Banks, and he's had an excellent day in the field today. Throws it over to DJ Stojanovic to get the first out of the inning. Now the Doubledays with just 2 lives left, 2 outs before their chances of beating the Tarp Skunks here are over. A win here for the Doubledays would tie up the season series with Jamestown at 2-2. That pitch is going to be a breaking ball that finds the inside of the strike zone. So Fulton falls down early, 0-1 in the count. Tyler Lejeune on deck, following up Fulton. Ryan Grundy in the hole. 3 combined hits between Grundy and Barr. Fulton is 0 for 2, walked in his last at-bat. And he's now 0 for 2 in this at-bat, so falls behind early on in the count. Comes in, and he will hit it towards the shortstop, Nigel Sebastianelli. Looks like he'll get there in time, an infield single for Ethan Fulton. Big time play there, and now Tyler Lejeune comes up to the plate with a runner on first and just 1 out on the board. So Doubledays still have some hope remaining. Tying run is on first. Winning run will be at the plate. Wouldn't be surprised if they're sending Fulton here. And that one looks like it's going to clip him, and it does. Hits Tyler Lejeune in the leg, and now we'll have runners on first and second with Ryan Grundy stepping up to the plate. Grundy has gotten a hit in each of his last 2 at-bats. He had a double in his second at-bat and a single in his third. Any type of hit here would be huge. Again, tying run on second, winning run now on first base. Doubledays crowd starting to get a little bit livelier here as that pitch is inside, will be called a strike. Grundy has a nice 2 for 3 night going so far. Let's see if he can keep his good hitting going. As that one swung on and missed there, Grundy not happy with himself after that miss. He falls behind 0-2. On deck is Zach Bale, who also had a double in his last at-bat. As the pitch comes in, and that's going to be strike 3. He knew as soon as that crossed the plate and he didn't swing that was going to be a strike 3 looking. And now Zach Bale steps up to the plate with all eyes on him because tying run again on second base, but there are 2 outs. Gabe Sanders is on deck if it comes down to it. Doubledays trail by 1 run still, but winning the hitting battle 8-6. A bit demoralizing because it's exactly what happened in their last game against Jamestown, where they out-hit the Tarp Skunks, but were not able to outscore them. As that pitch comes in, and Bale swings at a pitch that was outside and out of the strike zone. So 0-2 count for Zach Bale. And could be the final pitch of the game if Zach Bale isn't able to connect here. That pitch just misses the strike zone there. 1-2 count. Bale opts to be patient, wait for the right pitch. We have Tyler Lejeune on first base, Ethan Fulton on second. As Bale doesn't go there, and it looks like they call that a strikeout. He did not think he went, but they will call that a 3rd strike and 2 consecutive strikeouts to end the game for the Auburn Doubledays, and the Tarp Skunks will take this one home. That brings the Tarp Skunks up to 15-16 on the season, bringing them closer to 3rd place in the division. They're trailing just a game and a half prior to this behind the Elmira Pioneers. Now they'll be even closer, and they're getting away from the Geneva Red Wings, who they were, again, 1.5 wins ahead of heading into this game. Now, for the Doubledays, this drops them to 17-13-1 on the season. Ruins a little win streak they were going and puts them pretty far behind the Batavia Muckdogs. Now they're more focused on staying ahead of the Elmira Pioneers, holding on to that second place, because right now it looks like first place is going to be too far out of reach for the Auburn Doubledays. Some of the standout performers for the Doubledays today, even despite that last strikeout, Zach Bale had a great game with a key double. Ryan Grundy also had 2 big hits, including a double in his second at bat. Also got to look at a few other good players like Ethan Fulton, who really stepped it up after a slow start to the game, and Tyler Lejeune, whose single in his second at bat really helped get things going. Doubledays will be back tomorrow. They have a game, an away game, however, but they will be back tomorrow with a game on the 14th against the Elmira Pioneers. So a big game against a team that is third in the division, right on the heels of the Doubledays in the standings. That game is going to be held at the Elmira Pioneers Stadium at 4:05 p.m. Dunn Field. So make sure to either pop out to that game, go watch the Doubledays play out in Elmira, or just watch it on the broadcast, because you got to support your Doubledays team that's been having a fantastic season so far. It looks to be keeping it up. I'm Ryan Story, and this is going to conclude the game between the Auburn Doubledays and the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Tune in tomorrow for more Auburn Doubledays baseball, or for the next home game, July 17th against the Syracuse Saltcats. We'll have Evan on the call for that game, so either tune into that game or tune into the one tomorrow. I'll be back on the Auburn Doubledays Sports Network.